There is a truth so fundamental, so powerful, that entire systems are built to hide it from you. It's not a complicated secret locked in an ancient vault. It's a simple fact about your own nature. Society has given you a map for life, a comfortable path it says leads to happiness. But what if that map leads you everywhere except where you truly need to go? What if the greatest lie you've ever been told is the one you tell yourself every single day? We are told from birth what a good life looks like. Get good grades, find a secure job, buy a house, and accumulate things. We chase external validation, measuring our worth in likes, promotions, and the approval of others. This is the comfortable path. It feels safe because everyone else is walking it. We are promised that if we just follow the rules and check all the boxes, we will arrive at a destination called fulfillment. It's a very appealing promise. Society functions like a gentle shepherd, guiding its flock. It provides entertainment to distract you, trends to follow, and clear enemies to rally against. It wants you to be predictable, manageable, and content with your role. This system isn't necessarily malicious. It simply prioritizes stability over individual greatness. It offers you comfort in exchange for your wild, untamed potential. And for most, this seems like a very fair trade, a small price to pay for a life without too much friction. Look at this man. Let's call him the conformist. He does everything right. He laughs at the right jokes, agrees with the popular opinions, and never steps out of line. He's well-liked, he's stable, and by all external measures, he is a success. He has built a cage for himself, but the bars are made of comfort and acceptance, so he doesn't even feel them. He believes he is free because he has never tried to test the walls of his prison. The primary tool for keeping you on this path is the fear of being an outcast. We are social creatures, and the thought of being alone, of being rejected by the group, is terrifying. So we wear masks. We hide our strange thoughts, our unpopular opinions, our true desires. We present a carefully curated version of ourselves to the world, one that we know will be accepted. We become actors in our own lives, playing a part that society wrote for us. This is the lie, the one truth society doesn't want you to know. The comfortable life it sells you is not a life of strength, but a life of weakness. It is a life that avoids all difficulty, challenge, and pain. And in doing so, it avoids all opportunities for genuine growth. It is a gilded cage, a beautiful prison that slowly erodes the very thing that makes you powerful, your will to overcome. This path doesn't lead to fulfillment. It leads to a quiet, numb emptiness. The rewards for conformity are immediate and constant. A like on a social media post provides a tiny hit of dopamine. A promotion at work reinforces that you are on the right track. Nodding along in a conversation avoids the discomfort of disagreement. These small, easy victories create a powerful feedback loop. They make you feel good in the moment, while slowly sedating your ambition for something more, something real. They are the bread and circuses of the modern age. This way of life is built on a foundation of shoulds. You should want this career. You should find a partner by this age. You should have these political views. You should enjoy these hobbies. These external expectations become your internal compass. You stop asking yourself what you truly want, and instead focus only on what you are supposed to want. Your life becomes a checklist created by others, and you spend all your energy ticking the boxes without ever asking why. Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher of dynamite, saw this clearly. He called it the quote mentality. The herd values safety above all else. It fears the exceptional individual because that person is a reminder of what they could be, but are too afraid to become. The herd creates a morality where good means safe, agreeable, and harmless, and evil means dangerous, different, and challenging. It is a morality designed to keep everyone average and under control. So you play the game, you climb the ladder, you collect the rewards, you build a life that looks perfect from the outside. You have done everything you were told to do. You have won the game that society set up for you. But then, in a quiet moment, when the distractions fade and the applause dies down, a question creeps in from the darkness. A terrifying, simple question. Is this all there is? And the unraveling begins. The first crack appears. It's a moment of profound emptiness after a great achievement. You got the promotion, but the feeling of victory vanishes in an instant, replaced by a dull ache. The party was fun, but now you sit in the silence, feeling more alone than ever. The praise you received feels like it was for someone else, for the mask you wear, not for the real you. These moments are whispers of the truth, trying to break through the noise. You start to notice the repetition, the same conversations with the same people, the same tasks at work, day after day, the same cycle of earning and spending. Life begins to feel like a treadmill. You are running faster and faster, putting in more and more effort, but you look around and realize you haven't actually gone anywhere. The scenery never changes. You are caught in a loop, and the comfort that once felt so reassuring now feels suffocating. Doubt begins to poison your certainty. You look at the values everyone around you holds so dear, wealth, status, popularity, and you start to question them. Are these things truly valuable, or are they just things we are told to value? Is the person with the most money the most successful, or just the most distracted? You begin to suspect that you have been chasing a phantom, a goal that was never your own to begin with. You feel a growing sense of alienation. In a crowd, you feel invisible. Among friends, you feel like an imposter. You listen to their concerns about trivial matters and you can no longer relate. It's as if you are speaking a different language, or as if you woke up one day and realized you were a lion living among sheep. Their placid contentment no longer seems enviable. It seems tragic. You are in the herd, but no longer of it. This is the pain of waking up. The comfortable numbness is replaced by a sharp, clear anxiety. The world no longer makes sense. The rules you followed so diligently now seem arbitrary and meaningless. This stage is confusing and lonely. Society offers no support for this kind of crisis because it is a direct challenge to its authority. It tells you that you are broken, that you should seek therapy to become normal again, to go back to sleep. You might try to double down on the old ways. You work harder, party more, buy more things, and seek more validation, desperately trying to recapture the old feeling of comfort. You think that maybe you just didn't do it right, that you need more of the poison to finally find the cure. But it doesn't work. Each attempt only makes the emptiness feel deeper. The cage you once ignored is now painfully obvious. You can feel the bars. Nietzsche understood this disillusionment. He saw it as a necessary, though painful, step. It is the moment the spirit begins to demand more than just comfort and security. It is a hunger for meaning that cannot be satisfied by the cheap food of social approval. This hunger is a sign of health, not sickness. It is a sign that a deeper, stronger part of you is trying to be born. It is the first rumble of an earthquake that will shatter your old world. You start to see the chains that were always there. The chain of needing your boss's approval. The chain of fearing your friend's judgment. The chain of conforming to beauty standards. The chain of adhering to a political tribe. They were invisible before because you never pulled against them. Now, as you begin to question and drift away from the herd, you feel their weight. You realize your freedom was conditional all along. The fear is immense. To break these chains means to risk everything you've built. It means facing loneliness, ridicule, and failure. The shepherd, society, will not be pleased. The rest of the flock will see you as a threat or a fool. Every instinct screams at you to retreat, to put the mask back on, to go back to the warmth and safety of the herd. This is the moment of truth, the great test. Will you choose a comfortable lie or a difficult truth? The world you knew was a carefully constructed stage play, and you've just peeked behind the curtain. You've seen the ropes, the pulleys, and the uninspired actors. You can't unsee it. You can try to go back on stage and pretend you didn't see anything, but the performance will never feel real again. The magic is gone. The comfortable illusion has been shattered, and you are left standing in the rubble of your old beliefs, faced with a terrifying new reality. You start to notice how language is used to maintain control. Words like weird, selfish, or unrealistic are used to stigmatize anyone who deviates from the norm. Success is narrowly defined as financial gain. Happiness is marketed as a product you can buy. You realize that the very tools you use to think have been shaped by a system that does not have your best interests at heart. You must learn to think for yourself, outside the provided categories. The feeling of being lost is overwhelming. Your old compass is broken. The landmarks you used to navigate life have disappeared. You are adrift in a sea of uncertainty, with no map and no destination. This is a terrifying place to be, but it is also the only place where true discovery can happen. You cannot find a new world if you are unwilling to lose sight of the old shore. This state of being lost is not the end. It is the true beginning. In this state of doubt, you start to observe others more keenly. You see the forced smiles, the quiet desperation in their eyes during their commute, the way they talk enthusiastically about things they don't seem to truly care about. You see the same hollowness you feel in yourself reflected in the world around you. You realize you are not alone in your quiet suffering. You are just one of the few who has started to acknowledge it. This is the critical turning point. The pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of changing. The comfortable cage has become a torture chamber. The quiet desperation has become a deafening scream. The choice is no longer between comfort and difficulty, but between a slow spiritual death and the terrifying, vibrant possibility of a new life. The pressure has built to a point where something must break. Either you will break or your chains will. This is where Nietzsche's central truth crashes into your life. The one thing society doesn't want you to know. The purpose of life is not to avoid suffering. The purpose of life is to find something that makes the suffering worthwhile. The goal isn't happiness, it's strength. It's the power to face the chaos of existence, and not just endure it, but embrace it, shape it, and turn it into something beautiful. This is the will to power. The truth is this: what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. This is not a cliché. It is the fundamental law of growth. A muscle must be torn to grow. A bone must be stressed to become denser. Your character, your spirit, your will, they are no different. Society teaches you to see pain as a signal to stop, as a sign of failure. Nietzsche teaches you to see it as an opportunity. It is the resistance you need to become more than you are. Think of your life not as a placid lake to be kept calm, but as a block of marble. You are the sculptor. Every challenge, every failure, every heartbreak, every moment of suffering, these are not blemishes. They are the strikes of your hammer and chisel. Avoiding them means leaving the block untouched, formless, and without meaning. To create a masterpiece, you must be willing to chip away, to endure the violent process of creation. You must sculpt yourself. Society wants you to be a follower of its values, a consumer of its morality. Nietzsche demands that you become a creator of your own values. You must look at the world with your own eyes and decide for yourself what is good, what is noble, and what is worth living and dying for. This is a tremendous and terrifying responsibility. It is far easier to accept a pre-packaged set of beliefs. But true freedom begins when you dare to define your own good. This is the concept Nietzsche called amor fati, the love of your fate. It does not mean being passive. It means loving everything that happens in your life, the good and the bad, the pleasure and the pain, because all of it is necessary for your becoming. You look at your past, with all its mistakes and suffering, and you don't wish for it to be different. You say, yes, I needed all of that. It forged me. I would not remove a single hardship. The herd seeks comfort. The higher human, the Übermensch as Nietzsche called it, seeks challenges. This isn't about being superior to others. It's about being superior to your former self. It is a constant process of self-overcoming. Today, I will face a fear I ran from yesterday. Today, I will be more disciplined than I was last week. Today, I will choose the difficult, meaningful path over the easy, empty one. This is the new goal. Embracing this truth is a declaration of war on your own weakness. It's the moment you stop blaming the world for your problems and take absolute ownership. It is no longer about what you are owed by life, but what you can build with the life you have. This shift in perspective is the key that unlocks the cage. The bars were never made of steel, but of your own perception. You were always free to leave. You just had to be willing to face the wilderness outside. You turn your back on the crowd, not with hatred or arrogance, but with a quiet resolve. You are no longer interested in their games, their validation, or their comfortable consensus. You have a new direction. You are heading for the mountains. You know the path will be steep, treacherous, and lonely, The crowd may mock you, call you a fool, or try to pull you back, but their voices fade as you take your first step onto the unmarked trail. The core revelation is this: suffering is a tool. In the hands of a weak person, it crushes them. In the hands of a strong person, it is the hammer used to forge a sword. The question is not how to avoid suffering, but how to become strong enough to wield it. Society, by encouraging you to avoid all pain, is robbing you of your most powerful tool for transformation. It is trying to keep you weak so you remain dependent on the herd for safety. True happiness, the kind that lasts, is not a state of pleasure. It is the feeling you get after overcoming a great obstacle that you chose to face. It is the quiet satisfaction of a hard day's work on a project you love. It is the pride of having endured a storm and come out stronger on the other side. It is a byproduct of the struggle, not the absence of it. The herd chases pleasure. The individual forges joy. This is the moment you must kill the good person that society wants you to be. The harmless, agreeable, pleasing person. This goodness is a form of weakness, a fear of causing friction. You must be willing to be seen as bad by those who value comfort over truth. You must be willing to disappoint people, to say no, to hold your own ground even when it's unpopular. Your own integrity must become more important than your likability. Imagine your potential as a dormant fire within you. Society gives you a comfortable blanket and tells you to keep warm and safe, which slowly smothers the flames. Nietzsche hands you gasoline and a match. He tells you to embrace the things that feel dangerous, the things that challenge you, the things that force you to grow. The goal is to become a blazing inferno, a source of your own light and heat, not a tiny ember seeking warmth from others. You must learn to love your enemies, not in a sentimental way, but by recognizing their value. The person who criticizes you forces you to sharpen your arguments. The competitor who challenges you forces you to improve your skills. The obstacle that blocks your path forces you to find a new, more creative way forward. Your enemies and your hardships are your greatest teachers. They provide the resistance necessary for your ascent. The ultimate act of rebellion is not to fight the system, but to make yourself independent of it for your self-worth. It is to build an inner citadel so strong that the opinions of the outside world, whether praise or condemnation, cannot breach its walls. Your sense of value must come from your own judgment of your actions, from living in accordance with the values you have forged for yourself. This is true sovereignty. So the one truth is this: your pain is your power. Your struggle is your path. Your greatest fear is the signpost pointing you where you need to go. Life is not a problem to be solved or a paradise to be reached. It is a mountain to be climbed. The meaning of your life is not found at the summit, but in the act of climbing itself. It is in the straining of the muscles, the gasping for air, the relentless will to take one more step upward. Once you understand this, the world looks different. A crisis at work is no longer a disaster. It's a test of your resilience. A difficult conversation is no longer something to be avoided. It's a chance to practice courage. A period of loneliness is no longer a curse. It's an opportunity to build a relationship with yourself. Every part of life becomes part of the path of transformation. Nothing is wasted. Everything serves the purpose of making you stronger. The path of transformation begins immediately. It starts with the next choice you make. Do you choose the comfortable, familiar option or the one that challenges you, even in a small way? Do you scroll through your phone to numb yourself, or do you sit with your thoughts for 5 minutes? Do you agree to avoid conflict, or do you speak your truth, kindly but firmly? The path up the mountain is built one small, difficult step at a time. This path is, by its nature, a lonely one. When you stop conforming, you separate yourself from the herd. Old friends may fall away, unable to understand the person you are becoming. You will be misunderstood. This loneliness is a test. It forces you to learn to be your own companion, to find your strength within, not from the approval of a group. It is in this solitude that you can finally hear your own voice clearly. Let's contrast the two paths. The herd path is wide, paved, and crowded. It slopes gently downhill toward a gray, uniformed city where everyone is safe and no one is exceptional. It is a life of comfort and quiet despair. The other path is a goat trail up a treacherous mountain. It is a life of struggle, solitude, and constant challenge. But it leads to a summit with a breathtaking view, under a vibrant, sunlit sky. There will be storms on your mountain. These are the major life crises: the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, a confrontation with your own mortality. The herd runs for shelter. The climber, the new man, learns to build his own shelter, or, even better, to dance in the rain. He knows that the storm will pass and that the mountain will still be there. He knows the storm is part of the journey, a force that washes the path clean. You will stumble, you will fall. There will be times when you think you cannot go on, when the comfort of the valley below seems irresistibly tempting. In these moments, you must remember why you started climbing. You are not seeking a destination. You are becoming a certain kind of person, one who gets back up. Your strength is not measured by whether you fall, but by how many times you rise again, each time a little more determined. As you climb, you will find a new kind of freedom. Not the freedom from responsibility, but the freedom to choose your own responsibilities. Not the freedom from pain, but the freedom to choose the suffering that gives your life meaning. It is the freedom of the eagle, which must fight against the wind to soar, unlike the chicken, which is safe in its coop but can never know the sky. This is the freedom that matters. The higher you climb, the more your perspective changes. The urgent concerns of the valley, the petty dramas, the chase for status, the fear of judgment, begin to seem small and distant. You gain a sense of scale. You see the vastness of the world and the short time you have in it. This perspective is clarifying. It burns away the trivial and leaves only what is essential. Your purpose becomes clearer with every upward step. This is the hard-won peace. It is not the placid calm of the sheep in the meadow. It is the calm of the seasoned warrior who is no longer afraid of the battle. It is an inner stillness that persists even in the midst of outer chaos. You have faced your own demons, you have walked through the fire of your own anxieties, and you have survived. You know your own strength, and that knowledge brings a peace that comfort could never provide. The transformation is not about arriving at a perfect finished state. It is about falling in love with the process of becoming. The goal is not to be the Übermensch, but to be forever striving towards it. The joy is in the journey itself. You are a bridge to something greater, not a destination. You accept your own imperfection and embrace the endless beautiful struggle to overcome it, day by day. This is the meaning you create for yourself. Now, you are no longer the conformist, you are the creator. You are no longer a leaf blown by the winds of public opinion, but a tree with deep roots, able to withstand any storm. You have taken the raw material of your life, the pain, the joy, the chaos, and you have begun to sculpt your own soul. The work is never finished, but you have found the only work that truly matters. You have found your path. This entire journey, from the comfortable lie to the difficult truth, has brought you to this moment. It is not just a story about a character in a video, it is a map for your own life. The mountain is a metaphor for any great challenge you choose to undertake. Starting a business, creating a work of art, raising a family with intention, or simply mastering your own mind. It is about choosing purpose over pleasure. Look at your own life. Where are you seeking comfort? Where are you avoiding necessary difficulty? What fear is holding you back from becoming who you could be? The truth is, a part of you already knows the answers. There is a voice inside you, drowned out by the noise of the world, that is calling you to a higher path. The first step of integration is simply to listen to that voice, to give it space to speak. Don't try to climb the whole mountain tomorrow. That is a recipe for despair. Start small. Find one small discomfort to embrace today. Have that conversation you've been avoiding. Wake up 15 minutes earlier to read. Do one thing that your future, stronger self would thank you for. Each small act of courage and discipline is a vote for the person you want to become. It is how you begin to build momentum for the climb ahead. You must redefine your relationship with failure. Society teaches you to fear it, to see it as an endpoint. But on the path of transformation, failure is just data. It is a lesson from the mountain, teaching you where your footing was weak or your approach was wrong. Embrace it, learn from it, and get back up immediately. The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of it. The storm has passed. The climb has been brutal, but you have reached the summit. The transformed man stands at the peak of the mountain he has conquered. He is weathered, scarred, and alone, but he is not lonely. He is filled with a strength and a peace that the man in the valley could never comprehend. He has become the person he was meant to be, not by avoiding the struggle, but by facing it head-on. He looks out over the world. He sees the valleys and the other mountains. He sees the storms and the sunshine. He accepts it all. He loves it all. He has embraced amor fati. He is no longer at war with reality. He is a part of its powerful, chaotic dance. He does not wish for life to be easy. He is grateful that it was hard, because the hardship is what made him great. This is the ultimate prize. We began with a lie, that the goal of life is to seek comfort and avoid pain. We journeyed through the painful unraveling of that lie. We discovered the core truth, that the purpose of life is to find meaning in struggle and to forge strength from hardship. We have seen the path of transformation, the difficult climb up the mountain, and now you stand at your own crossroads, armed with this knowledge. The choice is yours. Society will continue to sell you comfort. It will offer you endless distractions, easy answers, and the safety of the herd. It will always be the easier path. The path of least resistance will always be there, calling to you. The question Nietzsche leaves for you is not whether you can be happy, but whether you can be great. And greatness is always found on the far side of suffering. It is a choice you must make every single day. The greatest act of love you can show yourself is to demand more from yourself. It is to believe that you are capable of more than just being comfortable. It is to honor the potential that lies dormant within you by choosing the path that will awaken it. This is not selfish. A person who has mastered themselves has more to offer the world than a person who has only ever sought to please it. Become strong, and you become a lighthouse for others. So what will it be? Will you remain in the comfortable valley, living a life of quiet numbness, following the map given to you by others? Or will you accept the truth? Will you turn toward your own mountain, embrace your own struggles, and begin the difficult, glorious work of becoming who you are? The world does not need more sheep. It needs more lions. It needs more creators. It needs you in your fullest, strongest form.